All right, we're on to the next video. Again, this is, I think, the third video I've done for flies, of my favorite flies. Not necessarily to tie, but for the fish that I like chasing, whether it be in Andros or in the last year when we went to Mexico. This is another fly that was first choice of a guide pick in our boxes. Anyway, this is called the Crazy Charlie, named after a local Bahamian, Charlie Smith, from I think the early 1970s. Someone came up with this fly. It kind of creates a glass minnow, or if you tie it with the accents of pink, like a shrimp pattern. The one I'm going to be tying is with bead chain eyes for a slow sink rate. So you want something that floats down nice and gentle, doesn't make a big splash to spook the bonefish. Super easy fly, very big producer. One of the top flies that is recommended every time that I've fished this fly. So here we go. All right, starting off with a quick materials list. We're using I'm using a size 8 SL 11-3H for the hook. Tamagotchis, it's usually what I use. From there, my thread, this is I think shell pink, a good shrimp color that I use. For the eyes, I use some bead chain. I'll show you how to cut off the bead chain eyes in a few minutes here. For the body, on top of the pink thread, I'm using some clear vinyl rib, a calf tail, and I'm using white, a little bit of flash. So basically I'm gonna start off like I have in the past with a little dab of Zap-A-Gap on the hook shank, and I will start some nice wraps with the shell pink thread that I was showing you earlier. I'm going to wrap that all the way kind of back to the shank of the, the bend of the hook, right over the barb, advance it back to the eye of the hook. And I'll take a pair of clippers here, and I'll just cut off 2 of those bead chain eyes and attach those just behind the eye of the hook. I want to leave a little space there to build up a little bit of a head for the thread, and you're also going to need a little space for the calf tail. You always want to make sure your eyes are nice and square and perpendicular to the hook so it rides correctly in the water. Just a little dab of Zap-A-Gap on top. Now that I have the base of the shell pink color, I'm going to go once more back. I'm going to take the vinyl rib, and I'll take out a couple inch piece of the vinyl rib. What I will do is secure it. So if you have this material, if you look at it, it's almost in a concave shape, half moon shape, or half circle shape. Put the circular part of the half moon or half circle so it's facing the shank of the hook. From there, kind of wrap back towards the bend of the hook. Nice tight wraps. Take the vinyl rib and advance it forward, and you want just overhand wraps so it lays nice and smooth against each other, not overlapping each other, but as you see here, it's laying right next to each other. Each wrap is right next to the last wrap. And once you reach the bead chain eyes, I like to go over the top, around the eye of the hook, and over the back side of the V chain eyes, just to create a nice uniform wrap there. And I'm going to tie down this vinyl rib with a couple overhand wraps. I like Zap-A-Gap. The amount of time you spend tying these flies, I really like taking the extra step and putting a little dab of Zap-A-Gap on these flies. Again, I've said it before, I don't want these flies falling apart midday, so this just kind of is a good security of all the time you put into the off season tying these flies. Trusty paper towel. Take a piece of the calf tail, so you can kind of pull out the fibers of the calf tail. As you see up here, you got some longer, towards the tip of the calf tail, you have some longer fibers or hairs of the calf tail. And they kind of like, they're a little more wavy up here. Down on the base, you have more coarse calf tail. This is a pretty small fly, so I'm gonna take a pinch of the calf tail from the base of this material that I have. And you want to pinch the bases of these like you've seen in previous videos of Clouser minnow. As you see, I just kind of pull out the bottom part of this, and it pulls out all these little tiny microfibers out of the base. So I got to about where I want with this calf tail. As you see, it's very small. It's probably, so that's about an inch for my finger. It's about an inch in length. And I'm gonna just trim the edges off. Angle them down towards the eye of the hook. Go over the top once, and as you see, it's a nice loose wrap. And if I pull upward from here, that's gonna kind of lock in those fibers, and I'm gonna wrap back towards the eye of the hook. I'm sorry, towards the V chain eyes. And you wanna kind of just smooth those out and take out any extra fibers that may fall out after your tie. But as you see here, it's pretty tight. It's pretty good. Take just one strand of my UV crystal flash, double it over, cut that in half, and I'm going to wrap that around the thread, and I'll position that at the top of the calf tail. You don't need many wraps to get this secured because it's very fine material. That's about done. So what I'm going to do now is take my whip finisher. I'm just going to do 4 or 5 wraps of the whip finish from the eye of the hook back towards the V chain eyes, laying a nice thread wrap there. So again, super easy fly, very easy fly to tie, a great beginner fly, and I've caught a ton of bonefish on this fly in the first couple of years. And again, this is one of the main recommendations from some of the top renowned guides in the world for this type of fishery. It's called the Crazy Charlie. Super easy. If I had to go tie a fly on next time I go to the Bahamas or Mexico if I'm fishing for bonefish, that's probably going to be it right there. In fact, I'm going to put a little bow on this one when I go to Mexico here in a couple weeks. I'm going to take it out of my box and I'm going to catch a bonefish on that fly.